Hi, I'm Andrea.
I'm Leigh, and on today's show we're going to answer your questions
And serve up some Yorkshire goodness.
Welcome to Brilliant Baking, the show that takes the mystery out of baking and delivers hints and tips straight to your screen.
So let's jump straight in and answer some of your questions.
First question. What's the best thing to bake bread in or on? From Craig Coburn.
But the key to making brilliant bread is to have a hot oven. And the trouble with a lot of home ovens is that they lose heat when you open them. So the more stuff that you can put into an oven to retain heat, like a baking stone or a baking steel, the better.
And what about if you wanted a particular shape loaf?
Yes, depending on what you want. If you want a classic hearth-shaped bread, then a Dutch oven or cast iron pot works well. If you want a loaf shape, then a loaf tin. And then if you're free-forming your bread and make something like a cottage loaf, then just use a baking sheet.
Kate Lush says, why do my cakes sometimes sink in the middle after I take them out of the oven?
Oh, this is a great question and a common problem. Check your oven temperature is right. If your oven is too hot, your cakes will rise too quickly and then they'll sink when you take them out. Also your baking powder, check your quantities. Make sure you're not putting too much baking powder in because that will react quickly. Cakes will rise again really quickly and then sink again when you take them out.
And it sounds obvious, but make sure your cake's actually cooked. And you can do this by putting a toothpick in or a skewer and making sure that it comes out clean. So if your cakes aren't cooked, they're going to sink.
Last question. Do you have a good recipe for making Yorkshire puddings? Janine.
Yes, we have. So let's make some. Okay, so we're going to make our lovely homemade Yorkshire puddings. This is a recipe that I always use. It's simple, it's foolproof, and the result is some really delicious big Yorkshire puddings. Absolutely perfect for a roast dinner on a Sunday. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to prepare your tin. And I'm using a 12-hole tin, the sort of tin you would use for cupcakes or muffins. And I'm actually using these silicone moulds for two reasons. One, you hardly need to use any oil with them, and the other is that they actually stop the Yorkshire puddings from sticking to your tin. Now, the trick to getting really good Yorkshire puddings is to get your oil as hot as possible before you put your batter in. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of olive oil, although with these cupcake moulds or silicone moulds, you hardly need any oil at all. Okay, so we're going to put our tin into the oven. And while that oil's getting nice and hot, we're going to prepare our ingredients. Now, the beauty of this recipe is you don't really need to remember any measurements. You simply break 3 eggs into a bowl. 3 eggs will give you around about 12 Yorkshire puddings. And you weigh your eggs. Now these eggs are 180 grams. So from there, I know that I can use the equivalent weight in milk. So weigh out 180 grams of milk and then 180 grams of plain white flour. I also add a pinch of salt to the Yorkshire puddings as well while they're being mixed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to very lightly beat the eggs, just enough to break the yolks. That's it, and then I'm going to add it to my mixer. Now if you don't have a mixer at home, you can either whisk them by hand with just a whisk or even a fork, or if you've got a handheld electric whisk, you can use one of those as well. I'm then going to add the milk. And finally, I'm going to sieve my flour into the bowl because that will just add extra air and will make your Yorkshire puddings even more light and fluffy. Okay, once we've got all of our ingredients into the bowl, Just going to add a pinch of salt, and then you need to mix it together for about 2 or 3 minutes until it's really well mixed. Okay, so once you've beaten your batter for a couple of minutes, it's time to leave it. And really, the longer you can leave it, the better. But I usually leave it for about 20 minutes, which gives your oil plenty of time to get nice and hot. Okay, so the batter's been standing for 20 minutes and it's time to get the oil out of the oven. But first of all, I'm going to get something out to stand the tray on because we don't want it burning the work surface. And I usually use this big trivet. Okay, so the oven is, the oil is really hot now. And it's time to put the batter into the silicone cases. Now I usually use a ice cream scoop because that way you get the same measure of batter in each of the cases. Okay, so once you've put the batter into the silicone cases, it's time to return your tray to the oven for around about 20 minutes, but check it after 15 just to make sure that they're not burning. And also for the first 10 minutes that they're in the oven, as much as you might want to, don't open the oven door because that will make them sink. So we're just going to wait 20 minutes and see what they look like when they come out of the oven. And now a quick sponsor to pay some bills, and then we'll be back with some more Yorkshire goodness.
Are you looking for quality non-stick baking cases? Well, these silicone cups from Brilliant Baking are the ones for you. They're easy to use and easy to clean, and they are extremely versatile. You can use them for cupcakes, muffins, Yorkshire puddings, desserts, frozen treats, and they are ideal for serving snacks and nuts. And, as an added bonus, if you buy them now, you'll get a free subscription to the Brilliant Baking magazine.
Okay, so the Yorkshire puddings have been cooking away in the oven for the last 20 minutes and I think they're ready. So there you have it, perfect Yorkshire puddings. They couldn't be any better than that. And the beauty of these silicone cases is that your Yorkshire puddings come straight out, no sticking to the tin. Absolutely lovely, perfect for your Sunday roast dinner. And that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Please get in touch, we'd love to hear from you, and you can send your questions to us via Facebook, Twitter or email using the links below.
And remember to subscribe, like us and tell all of your friends. So until next time,
Here's to your brilliant baking!